Marcus, my 16-year-old stepson, stood defiantly in our kitchen, his sister Emma backing him up with an equally stubborn expression. The catalyst for this outburst. I'd confiscated their phones after discovering they'd been skipping online classes while their mother worked long shifts at the hospital. 3 years. I had been in their lives for 3 years, making sure they had breakfast before school, helping with assignments, attending every band concert and soccer game, being the constant presence while their mom saved lives in the ER and their dad managed his business 2 states away. Yet here we were, having this conversation. "You're right," I said calmly, placing their phones in the drawer. "I'm not your biological father. So you can't punish us," Emma added quickly. "Only mom and dad make the rules." I studied these teenagers I'd grown to love as my own. Marcus, brilliant but struggling with motivation. Emma, talented in music but battling time management. Both watched me with that mixture of teenage defiance and uncertainty that had become all too familiar lately. "Okay," I replied, my decision crystallizing. "Let's respect that boundary." Their triumphant expressions showed they hadn't thought this through. But they were about to learn a valuable lesson about family dynamics and support systems. That evening, when my wife Susan returned from her shift, I explained the situation in our home office. They said, "What?" She sank into her chair, still in her scrubs. "David, they're just testing boundaries." "I know. But they need to understand what it means to reject support from someone who cares about them." I met her worried gaze. "I'm going to step back. Completely." "What exactly does that mean?" "No more morning routines, no homework help, no driving to activities, no cooking their meals. If they only want parental guidance from you and Peter, that's what they'll get." Susan ran her hands through her hair. "I'm working 60-hour weeks. Peter's in Chicago. They can't. We can't." "Exactly. But sometimes lessons need to be learned through experience." The next morning marked the beginning. Instead of my usual routine, making breakfast, packing lunches, ensuring everyone had their materials for the day, I made coffee only for myself and Susan. "Where's breakfast?" Emma asked, wandering into the kitchen. Since I'm not a real parent, I wouldn't want to overstep by providing meals, I replied pleasantly. "I'm sure your mom can help before her shift, or you can call your dad for advice." The teens exchanged uncertain glances. For 3 years, they'd relied on my morning organization to get their days started. Now they scrambled to make basic toast and find lunch supplies. "The car's not warmed up," Marcus noted as their departure time approached. "You'll need to arrange transportation with your biological parents," I reminded them. I wouldn't want to assume unauthorized parental duties. They ended up walking the mile to school in February snow. By dinner time, my phone buzzed with texts from their father Peter. I called him directly. Despite initial tensions, we developed a solid co-parenting relationship over the years. "The kids say you've stopped helping them," he began. "They've made it clear they only want parental authority from biological parents," I explained. "I'm respecting their wishes." A long pause. They were skipping classes. "Yes, and when I tried to address it, they reminded me I'm not their real parent." "So you're?" Stepping back completely. "No more daily support. No more being the default parent while you and Susan manage your careers." He sighed heavily. "They have no idea what they've done, do they?" "They're about to find out." The first week was chaos. Susan had to reschedule several patients to handle morning routines. Peter scrambled to find remote solutions for homework help. The kids discovered that managing their own schedules, meals, and academic responsibilities was far more challenging than they'd imagined. I remained friendly but distant. When Marcus struggled with calculus, I reminded him that parental help should come from biological parents only. When Emma needed a ride to band practice, I wished her luck coordinating with her mom or dad. The breaking point came during a particularly challenging week. Susan was handling multiple trauma cases, Peter was tied up with business emergencies, and the kids were drowning in academic deadlines. I found Marcus crying at the kitchen table late one evening. "I can't understand any of this," he sobbed over his physics homework. "Mom's at the hospital, Dad doesn't know physics, and, I prompted gently. "And you're the only one who explains things in a way that makes sense." He looked up, tears streaming. "But we said you're not our real parent." I sat down across from him. "You did, and that hurt, Marcus. Not because you stated a biological fact, but because for 3 years, I've tried to be there for both of you in every way that matters." "We were just mad about the phones," Emma said quietly from the doorway. "I know. But you need to understand something. Being a parent, step or biological, isn't just about rules and discipline. It's about showing up, every day, in all the little ways that help you grow and succeed." "We really messed up," Marcus admitted. "Maybe. But more importantly, you learned something valuable about family. That it's not just about DNA." Emma ventured. "Exactly." I pulled out my old physics textbook, kept specifically for helping with Marcus's advanced science courses. "Now, want to tackle that homework together." Later that night, Susan found me grading papers in the office. "The kids seem different," she observed. "Amazing what a little natural consequence can teach. They asked me if you'd start making breakfast again." I smiled. "Did they learn anything from this?" "Besides that their stepdad is surprisingly strategic when teaching life lessons." She laughed. "I think they finally understand that love and support come in many forms, and rejecting someone's parental role means losing all the ways that person helps you succeed." The next morning, I came downstairs to find both kids attempting to make breakfast. "We thought, maybe we could all cook together," Emma suggested hesitantly. "Including non-biological parents?" I asked. "Especially them," Marcus said softly. "The ones who choose to be there for us, even when we're being absolutely awful." I looked at these two teenagers, stubborn, learning, growing, and felt nothing but love for the family we'd built together. "How about we make breakfast as a family?" I suggested, since that's what real families do, biological or not. Their collective smile was answer enough. Sometimes the hardest lessons lead to the strongest bonds, and sometimes it takes losing something to understand its true value. As we cooked together, I thought about how families are built not through DNA, but through daily choices to show up, care, and persist, even when teenagers make you question every life decision that led to parenting. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but the shift was clear. They began showing appreciation for the little things, thanking me for meals, asking for help with homework, even defending me to friends who made comments about step-parents. One evening, I'd overheard Emma on the phone with her father. "Dad, is it okay if I skip this weekend visit? David's helping me prepare for my music audition, and he really understands the pieces I'm working on." The way she used my name, not Mom's husband or our stepdad, spoke volumes about how far we'd come. But the real breakthrough came during a parent-teacher conference. When the teacher asked about parent contact information, both kids immediately listed me alongside their biological parents. "He's our dad, too," Marcus explained simply. "Just a different kind." Those words, casual to him, but profound to me, proved that sometimes the strongest family bonds are the ones we choose to build, one day at a time. The weeks following our parenting strike brought subtle but significant changes to our household dynamics. Both kids started showing a new awareness of what family truly means, and, more importantly, how their actions impacted everyone around them. One evening, while helping Emma practice for her upcoming piano recital, I overheard Marcus on the phone with their father. "Dad, I know it's your weekend, but would it be okay if I stay here? David's helping me prep for the science competition, and he really gets this stuff." There was a pause. "Thanks for understanding." The casual way he referred to me, not as his stepdad or his mom's husband, but simply by my name, showed how naturally he'd come to accept my role in his life. Susan noticed the changes too. One night, after her hospital shift, she shared something that made my heart swell. You know what Emma told her therapist today? That she feels safe knowing there's always someone home who understands her, even when I'm dealing with emergencies and Peter's out of state. The real test came during spring break. Peter had planned to take them to his lake house, but a business crisis forced him to cancel at the last minute. The kids were devastated. Mom's got that medical conference, Emma said glumly at breakfast. We're stuck here doing nothing. I looked up from my coffee. Or, we could take that camping trip to the mountains you both said was too boring last summer. Their faces lit up, then quickly turned uncertain. Would you still want to do that with us? Marcus asked softly, after how we acted. Family doesn't keep score, I replied. We learn and grow together. 3 days later, we were setting up camp in the mountains. I taught them how to pitch tents, build safe campfires, and identify constellations. But more importantly, we talked, really talked, during those long evenings away from screens and distractions. You know what I realized? Emma said on our second night, watching the campfire. When we said you weren't our real dad, we were kind of saying we weren't a real family. And how do you feel about that now? Like we were total idiots, Marcus interjected. Because you've been more present then. He trailed off, not wanting to criticize their biological father. Different parents contribute different things, I said carefully. Your dad loves you very much. So does your mom. And so do I. It's not a competition. But you choose to be here, Emma observed. Like, you could have walked away when we were being awful. That's not how love works, kiddo. The conversation shifted to lighter topics, but I could see them processing this new understanding of family bonds. Back home, Susan was waiting with news. Peter called. He wants to discuss adjusting the visitation schedule to better accommodate everyone's activities and support systems. The meeting with Peter was surprisingly positive. Over coffee at a local cafe, we discussed more flexible arrangements based on the kids' needs rather than rigid custody rules. David's science help is crucial for my competition prep, Marcus pointed out. And he understands my music pieces better than anyone, Emma added. Peter looked at me thoughtfully. Seems like you've become essential to their success. They're great kids, I said simply. They just needed time to understand that family can take many forms. That evening, while I was helping Marcus with his physics equations and Emma practiced piano nearby, Susan wrapped her arms around me from behind. The school called today, she said. Both kids have updated their emergency contact forms. They put you right after me, before Peter. They trust you'll always show up. We've come a long way from "you're not our real parent," I observed. Speaking of that, Emma said from her piano bench, I've been thinking. Can we stop using the word step altogether? It feels unnecessary now. What would you prefer? I asked. Just Dad, if that's okay. She looked uncertain. I mean, we have Dad, Peter, and, well, just Dad. You. Marcus nodded in agreement. Yeah, that feels right. I swallowed hard. More than okay. The transformation continued in small ways. They started including me in their school essays about family, introducing me to friends simply as my dad, and defending our family structure to anyone who questioned it. One day, I found a note on my desk written in Emma's neat handwriting. Thank you for not giving up on us when we pushed you away. Thank you for showing us that real family is about choices, not just DNA. Most of all, thank you for being our dad, even when we said you weren't. Looking at these two teenagers, my kids, in all the ways that truly mattered, I realized that their temporary rejection had led to a deeper acceptance. Sometimes you have to lose something to understand its true value, and sometimes the hardest lessons create the strongest bonds. "Hey, Dad," Marcus called from the study. "Can you help me understand this quantum theory?" "Be right there, buddy." As I headed to help him, Emma called out, "Don't forget you promised to help me with my college music applications later." "Wouldn't miss it," I replied, knowing that every moment, the challenging and the joyful, was another thread in the tapestry of our chosen family. And that, perhaps, was the most real thing of all. The arrival of senior year brought new challenges to our newly strengthened family dynamic. College decisions loomed on the horizon for Marcus, and Emma was preparing for her crucial junior year. Then came the news that would test our bonds once again. Peter had received a major promotion that would relocate him permanently to Seattle. "It's an incredible opportunity," Peter explained during our monthly family dinner. "But I want to discuss it with everyone first." The silence that followed was heavy with meaning. Marcus and Emma exchanged glances before instinctively moving closer to my side of the table, a subtle movement that spoke volumes about how far we'd come. "When would you need to move?" Marcus asked carefully. "The position starts in January." "But that's right in the middle of my senior year," Marcus protested. "And Dad's been helping me with my physics scholarship applications." I noticed he referred to me as Dad without qualification, even with Peter present. Peter's expression showed understanding rather than hurt. We'd all grown past those initial insecurities. "And my piano recitals," Emma added. "Dad's been coaching me through the advanced pieces." That evening, I found both kids in the study, looking through old family photos. "Can we talk?" Emma asked softly. "Always." "If we choose to stay here, does that make us terrible kids?" Marcus voiced the concern they both clearly shared. "Having preferences about where you live doesn't diminish your love for your father," I replied carefully. "Love isn't measured by geography." "But Dad looked so disappointed," Emma whispered. "Because he loves you. And sometimes loving someone means supporting their choices, even when those choices are difficult." The conversation with Peter the next day was challenging but necessary. The kids had decided to stay in their current school district, but proposed spending extended holidays and summers in Seattle. "I understand," Peter said, his voice rough with emotion. "They have roots here, school, activities, friends." He paused, looking at me. "And a father who's helped them thrive." "They'll always need you, Peter." "I know. But they need you too. Different kinds of love, different kinds of support. That's what makes a family strong, right?" The transition wasn't easy. The first time the kids flew to Seattle for a visit, our house felt strangely empty. But technology helped bridge the distance. Daily video calls, shared online calendars, and group chats kept everyone connected. During their first stay in Seattle, I received separate messages from both of them. "Marcus, Dad's new place is amazing. His girlfriend knows all about my science competitions. Said you've been an incredible mentor." "She's right." Emma, "Missing our piano sessions. Teaching Dad some of the techniques you showed me. He's actually trying to learn." When they returned home, there was a new maturity about them. A deeper understanding of how family bonds can stretch across distances without breaking. During our welcome home dinner, Marcus made an announcement. "I've decided on my college essay topic. It's about how real family isn't defined by blood or distance, but by the daily choices we make to show up for each other." "That's so cheesy," Emma teased, but her eyes were soft. "But yeah, I get it. Like how Dad here kept showing up even when we tried to push him away with that whole, not real family thing." Susan squeezed my hand under the table. "You know what their counselor told me?" She said they're remarkably well-adjusted for teenagers dealing with such complex family dynamics. "Because we learned that pushing away love doesn't make your family smaller. It just makes your world smaller," Marcus reflected. Looking around our dinner table, I thought about our journey. From those tense days of rejection to this moment of deep understanding, we'd all grown in ways we never expected. Dad?" Emma asked, the title now feeling completely natural. "Will you still help me prepare for my winter showcase?" "Of course. And don't forget my physics competition," Marcus added. I smiled. "Wouldn't miss either." Because that's what real parents do. They show up, consistently and unconditionally, building a foundation of love that transcends biology and geography. Later that night, after the kids had gone to bed, Susan found me in the study, looking at recent family photos. "You know what Marcus told his counselor?" she asked. "That he finally understands why you didn't give up on them during their fake parent rebellion. He said real love persists even when it's rejected." "Smart kid." "Smart kids," Susan corrected, "who learn from a smart parent." I smiled, thinking of our journey. Sometimes the hardest moments lead to the most profound understanding. Our family had learned that love isn't about biology or proximity. It's about choice, commitment, and the courage to keep showing up, even when teenagers make you question every life decision that led to parenting. But those choices, those persistent acts of love, they're what make a family real, no matter how far apart they may be. As Marcus's graduation approached and Emma entered her senior year, our blended family faced the bittersweet reality of upcoming transitions. College decisions loomed, and with them came complex emotions about distance, change, and evolving family dynamics. Marcus had been accepted to several prestigious universities, including one in Seattle near Peter. The decision weighed heavily on him, and one evening I found him in the study, surrounded by acceptance letters. "Dad," the word came naturally now, "can we talk?" "Always." "If I choose MIT instead of the University of Washington, even though UW would mean being closer to Dad, Peter." He struggled to find the words. "Your college choice should be based on what's best for your future," I said carefully. "Not on managing family dynamics." "But MIT is so far from everyone." "And we'll all still be your family, regardless of distance." I picked up his MIT acceptance letter. "This program is perfect for your physics research interests." He smiled slightly. "Which you helped me discover." Meanwhile, Emma was wrestling with her own decisions about upcoming college auditions. Several prestigious music programs had shown interest, including Peter's alma mater. "Dad would love it if I went there," she confided during one of our piano sessions. "But their physics program isn't great, and I kind of want to follow Marcus into science too." "Since when?" I asked, surprised. "Since you showed me how physics relates to sound waves and music theory. It's like science is everywhere once you start looking." During the kids' spring break visit to Seattle, Peter called me unexpectedly. "Marcus showed me his MIT acceptance," he said. "He's worried about choosing between coasts." I told him to focus on the program, not the geography. "You know, that's exactly why they need both of us," Peter replied. "You push them toward their dreams, while I'm still learning to let go." When the kids returned, decisions had been made. Marcus chose MIT, and Emma decided to pursue both music and physics in her college search. During a quiet moment after all the decision chaos, Marcus found me in the study. "Remember when we said you weren't our real parent?" he asked. Hard to forget. We were so wrong. A real parent is someone who helped you become who you're meant to be, even if that means watching you fly across the country to chase your dreams. Or helping you understand that family love doesn't decrease with distance, I added. Exactly. He hugged me tightly. "Thanks for not giving up on us, Dad." That evening, as our family sat together for dinner, Susan home from the hospital, both kids arguing good-naturedly about which college had better food, I realized that sometimes the most real things in life are the ones we choose. We'd chosen each other, chosen to work through the hard times, chosen to build something stronger than biology or geography. And that choice made all the difference.